The first female martyr in Islam, Sumayyah bint Khayyat. From the very beginning of her faith in Allah, she was subjected to unbearable persecution in Mecca, tortured under the burning desert sun, pressured to abandon what she believed. But she never broke. She never turned away. And in the end, she became the first woman in Islamic history to give her life for her faith. This is the story of Sumayyah. She was not born into power. She was not protected by a powerful tribe. In the society of Mecca, that meant something. It meant vulnerability. It meant silence was expected from you. It meant suffering could happen and no one would intervene. Sumayyah lived in that world. She was among those who had no shield except endurance. But when Islam reached her heart, something changed. She was among the earliest to believe, not when it was easy, but when it was dangerous. Alongside her husband, Yasir ibn Amir, and her son, Ammar bin Yasir, a small family, facing a city that would soon turn against them. And it is important to remember this clearly. Sumayyah was the mother of Ammar bin Yasir, one of the well-known companions of the Prophet Muhammad. A mother, a believer, standing beside her family in the earliest and most difficult days of Islam. When Quraysh realized what they had done, when they realized that this family had embraced Islam, they did not negotiate. They punished. At first, it was pressure, then humiliation, then escalation. They were taken into the open desert outside Mecca, where the sun did not forgive, and where no shade was given. There, they were forced to stand under the burning heat. Chains bound them, and they were told one thing: reject what you believe, and this will stop. But they did not. So it continued. The Prophet Muhammad would pass by them during these times, and what he saw was not just physical suffering, it was endurance beyond what human strength should carry. And he would say words that became their anchor. Be patient, O family of Yasir. Your place is paradise. This was not a promise of escape. It was a promise of meaning, that their pain was not forgotten, that their struggle was not unseen, that what they endured was not wasted. And those words held them together when everything else was breaking. But the pressure from Quraysh did not stop. They wanted something specific, not just silence, but surrender. They wanted Islam to be rejected publicly. They wanted the example to be destroyed. So they increased the torture. The desert became a place of repeated suffering. Heat during the day, pain that did not end at night, and psychological pressure layered on top of physical exhaustion. Ammar bin Yasir was forced into unbearable conditions. Yasir ibn Amir was weakened by continuous suffering, and Sumayyah stood with them through it all, not as a bystander, but as part of the same test. As a mother watching her son suffer, as a wife standing beside her husband, and as a believer holding on to faith when everything around her was collapsing. And then came the final stage. Abu Jahl, one of the leading figures of opposition, came directly. He insulted, he threatened, he demanded rejection. But Sumayyah did not give him what he wanted. She did not collapse. She did not agree. She did not bend. Her silence was not weakness. It was refusal. And that refusal enraged them because they had power, but they did not have control.
Now, there is a common misconception people sometimes repeat about moments like this, but the historical reports do not emphasize dramatic actions or gestures. What they emphasize is something deeper: steadfastness, stillness under pressure, faith without compromise. That is what made her story unforgettable. Not reaction, but unwavering conviction. And when it became clear that she would not break, they ended her life. Abu Jahl struck her with a spear, and in that moment, Sumayyah became the first martyr in Islam. Not because she sought death, but because she refused to abandon truth. Her husband Yasir also passed away under persecution, and their family was tested together in the most severe way. But their legacy did not end there, because their son Ammar bin Yasir would go on to become one of the respected companions of the Prophet Muhammad, carrying the memory of his parents' sacrifice with him throughout his life. The Quraysh thought they had erased a problem, but they had created a symbol. Because Sumayyah was not powerful in worldly terms. She had no tribe strong enough to defend her, no wealth to protect her, no social shield. But she had something stronger than all of them: conviction. And that conviction outlived her killers. Her story became a reference point in Islamic memory, not just as history, but as a reminder that faith is not measured in ease, it is measured in endurance, in what remains when everything is taken away. Today, when her name is mentioned, it is not because she lived a long life. It is because she stood firm in the shortest, most painful chapter of her life and did not abandon what she believed in, even at the cost of everything. She was the mother of Ammar bin Yasir, a woman who stood with her family in faith and became the first female martyr in Islam. True faith is not tested in ease, it is revealed in hardship. And those who remain firm when everything is taken from them are never forgotten in the sight of Allah.